Lee, you have asked me to tell you the story of my life. Well, considering that in about a week's time I shall be 93 years of age, this is some undertaking and will take quite a while. But first of all, to tell you about my youth. I was born in a workhouse. These workhouses were instituted in England about 1847 to care for the poor. And they're all built on the exact same style, same, format, so that you could go from one to another and make your way through them. So we had one in Neury, and my father was the master of the workhouse, that was his title. And he got married to my mother, who was a nurse there. Her name was Agnes McCluskey. My father's name was Thomas Joseph Green. So we were reared there. We had a protected life insofar as we lived in the grounds of this workhouse. Quite a big place. It would be extend for I would say more than a mile. The grounds of the workhouse was a mile and a half. It included a hospital, then what was called the body of the house, where these poor people lived, divided in two sections, one for the women, the other for the men. And interestingly enough, they were divided by a building, one half of which was a Catholic chapel, and the other half was the Protestant chapel. The priest used to come and say Mass every Sunday, and on the first Friday, and the Anglican clergyman and the Presbyterian clergyman, the Reverend Todd, the Reverend Chancellor Todd was the Anglican, I remember, and the Reverend Mulligan was the Presbyterian. So they used to alternate. And if I might digress here for 1 second, and to anticipate, one Sunday, when my parents went out for a walk, they left us at home. And of course, I always got bright ideas. And it was the Chancellor Todd's turn to come for the Anglican service. Now, our house was at the bottom of what we called the yard. It sloped down from the Protestant chapel, sloped down to our house. We were therefore on a lower level. But then when we'd go upstairs, then the upstairs level of our house would be more or less on the level of the Protestant chapel. So one day, summertime, sun was shining, and we went upstairs, and I took my father's shaving mirror from the bathroom and came out to the window looking straight at the Protestant chapel. I saw Chancellor Todd enter, and he got up into a kind of a pulpit and he began to speak. I could see him clearly. So the sun was shining straight at me. So with the mirror, I was able to shine straight into the window of the chapel. I could see the Reverend Todd there in the pulpit, and with the mirror, I began to spell out his name on the opposite wall, T-O-D-D. And we thought that was very funny. However, Chancellor Todd didn't think it funny, but he was a very good gentleman. If he had reported this to the board of guardians, the people in charge, my father would have got into great trouble. But the Chancellor met my father and he said, "Oh, Mr. Green," he said, "I think you should be talking to that eldest son of yours, That was always the refrain. I think you should be talking to that eldest son of yours. So he told my father what had happened, but he kind of brushed off a smile. Of course, you know, children will be children, he said, and so left it to my father to deal with it. Well, my father dealt with it effectively, and he ensured that we did not do it again. So that's, by the way, I'm always inclined to go off at tangents. But that thing about that eldest son of yours reminds me of another story, which you know so well, Lee. Myself, I'll be speaking about this afterwards, but myself, my next brother, Tommy, who's now Father Clement, a Dominican priest like myself, he is in Dublin in St. Saviour's, and he is 91 years of age. I'm 92, and as I said, in a week's time or so, I shall be 93. So he and I are the two oldest priests in the Irish Dominican province. He is chaplain to the Dominican sisters, drives there every day to say Mass for them at noon, and he went to get his license renewed recently. In Ireland, as I suppose elsewhere, at the age of 80 or more, the license is renewed for only 1 year. However, he went to the doctor, asked for the certificate for the license. The doctor wrote down for 3 years. My brother presumed that the licensing authority would not grant it for 3 years, that only 1 year, but they got the thing, stamped it, gave it back to him. So he's got his license now until he's 94. And, well, anyway, he and I and the next younger brother, Kevin, who's now dead, he was a doctor, he died in 2007. We were altar boys, and one day we were serving the 8 o'clock Mass.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We were serving the 8 o'clock Mass, and we had our bicycles. We went along by bicycle to Mass, and after the Mass was over, I, of course, got an idea. I was always the one who got these crazy ideas. This was a Dominican church, a beautiful Gothic church, a very high spire. So we left our bicycles there and moved in to the entrance, where the side entrance, where the ladder going up to the bell tower was. Now we were young, but that ladder seemed to be of an enormous length. Oh, it seemed to be so high. So I said to them, I go up into the bell tower, you swing the bell, and I'll do the rest. So I went up. I was young, I must have been very young at the time, because I was afraid climbing that ladder. Went up holding on very tightly to both sides of the ladder. When I came to the top door, I was afraid to release one hand from the ladder in order to push open the trap door. So I kept on going on, so my head opened the trap door. And I went inside. It was dark. It was foul, dank place, because the birds came in. Birds flew in, and all the birds, things, the leavings were all around the place. But there I saw, right in the centre, was a huge bell. I had never seen such a big bell before. And the tongue of the bell was so long, it was massive. At the base of the tongue was a circle of iron, and then the end where I could get a hold of it. So I shouted down to my brother's pool. The bell began to move very slowly, half an inch perhaps, then an inch. I kept on shouting, quicker, quicker, quicker. So it began to sway, I held on to the tongue of the bell, and my idea was to keep the tongue from hitting the bell until the bell was swinging madly. So I kept on shouting, quicker, quicker. So when the bell would come this way, I'd move the tongue in the opposite direction, and all the time kept the tongue going in the opposite direction to prevent it from banging into the side of the bell. When the bell was swinging madly, I then threw the gong right into the bell. So it went bang, 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 bang. And of course, this was a bit of a shock to everybody round about. And when I was coming down the ladder, I came down much quicker than I went up. I kind of half went sliding down the ladder. And we got onto our bicycles, the three of us, and away we went. So the prior came to he thought that the whole place was collapsing. Prior came to the library window, he looked out, he saw the bell tower, everything was all right, hadn't collapsed, but the bell was ringing madly, bang, 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 and of course the sound went out all over the place.
Father, I have your half sheets.
Well, you just put them there at the ground.
Next to the chair, like back here?
Yes, that'll do, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, you're on a photo shot.
So.
Wait a minute.